are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday night shit show. How are you, my friend?
Do not come. That's all I know.
Do not come.
I am good. How are you doing? I got shout out to my Oakland brewer that always makes some wonderful beers, original pattern.
It's the invisible.
See a lot of blue.
The readers are going on right away today. Yeah.
Lucid Illusion, delicious. It's helping my spirit in these tough times.
Yes, I find a small modicum of joy at the bottom of every glass.
Self-medicating.
I am all about the self-medication for sure. Thank you all for being here tonight. I think we're competing with the Grammys. So there you have it. I'm just letting you know the Grammys are on tonight.
Lila, why do you always do this?
I know. Sorry, I'm directing
there's something better you could be watching.
No way. No way.
The only Grammys worth watching are the highlight clips afterwards of whoever did something bad or stood up for ICE in Palestine. And I mean,
I saw somebody, and I don't know who it was, said, thank you to the immigrants. Immigrants built this country. And, so I'm sure there is going to be some of that allowed.
I think there's a lot more of that than Palestine because look, the public is so, well, they're really one-sided pro-Palestine as well, but
they really are. Yeah.
There's no institutional backlash at you if you support, if you're against ICE.
You'll have a couple libs saying, well, you should have voted for Kamala then.
Right.
I already saw Amy Siskind. You remember the one who didn't vote for Obama? She was one of the party unity my ass people, blaming the uncommitted people as though the people doing a genocide would be stopping ICE. As if, look at what Dem leadership is doing right now. They're going to negotiate whether or not U.S. citizens can be deported. They're going to negotiate something that is already illegal.
Yeah, they're going to get a compromise that instead of just enacting the law that is in place now, tweaks the law to be more what they wanted, and then that will give the Republicans more license to break the law harder.
I tell you, I don't know that it's a given, even, in spite of the cheating and all the stuff that Trump is trying to do for the midterms. I do not know that Dems will win. I just don't, because they find a way. I mean, it sort of doesn't matter on some level anyway. We're so fucked, but I could really see them losing because they are so pathetic. They are just paid to lose so badly and in such a humiliating way. They're not even trying with the messaging to meet the moment, not even as a lie.
As much as I agree with the sentiment, sadly, I think I do want to see some of this administration curbed. So
yes,
I think that alone is going to make people vote for the 90% Hitler versus 100% Hitler.
Yeah. I think so.
But think of what we could have if they fought for the right stuff. It would be the easiest landslide in history to take back both the Senate and the House if they just started supporting what the public supports.
Absolutely. All right, we'll get to all the stuff. But first should we just stick to our schedule? You know how by the book we always are. Reminder, everybody, please make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. We handle, as I'm sure you guys have been able to ascertain, all of our social media. So we are now sharing on Upscrolled as well as Blue Sky and Twitter, YouTube, and sometimes I try very hard to also do it on Instagram. And I don't know, I never even really got into TikTok. I'm too old.
I'm really happy to see TikTok implode because I don't want to try to be some cool hip kid putting music to my shit.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not there.
But let's all just go to Upscroll. Let's make that happen there. Stay on Twitter too, because we have to push back against the institutions
The
and
Nazis.
the media and politicians, and they'll never go over to Upscroll because
Yeah.
Upscroll will always be Hamas to them, and that'll be justification for not setting up camp there.
Exactly. All right, so let's give a big shout out to these fine folks in Quilicura, Chile, who are working on their own project of analog intelligence to combat all of the AI data centers and the way they are ravaging our electricity grid and water availability.
Cada vez que le pides a la inteligencia artificial que te dibuje una bobada, se consumen litros y litros de estas aguas. Por eso tuvimos una idea. Por un día, no le pidas a la IA, pídenos a nosotros. ¿Necesitas un dibujo? Benja. ¿Una receta de machas a la parmesana? Andrea. ¿O quieres que te expliquen algo como si tuvieras 5 años? Mateo, te tiene 5 años.
Tengo 9.
Es lo mismo. Este 31 de enero, pregúntanos a nosotros.
So obviously that was yesterday, but the sentiment I think is really admirable and I love it.
I do. I especially the part about if you need someone to explain it to you like you're a 5-year-old, because that's what people are using this shit for. I mean, especially if you're the 20th person to use it to fact check a statement, I fucking want you to die in a fire. Like,
it is kind of crazy. People
are going to use it. Look at the other people. Somebody already asked that. Every time there's a fact out on the internet, someone's going to say, Rock, is this true? So just look for that person's response instead of fucking wasting 2 liters of water.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. What's your hat say, Pat? Ask Rock.
Says immigrants make America great.
Aw, I love that. Yes, they do.
It's and I'm trying to take the aesthetic back. I think, you know, the left has this soft image, you know, and so like, I'm not saying I'm some tough guy, but like, I think there's a push on the left to just counter all that. No, you can be woke and not a fucking little soft guy. You know, I don't know. I like taking the aesthetic back. I like stealing their camo.
Yeah. The camo is always a thing where I'm like, oh, is that like, you know, praising war and combat? But I hear you because it makes people look who thinks that maybe they're like, you're a military kind of guy. And then they look at that. Although, let's face it.
It's praising killing animals mostly. So calm down.
You're right. That's great. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't think that dark woke. Can you imagine? That's very funny. Okay, let's just spin the wheel and get to all the craziness. Honestly, I have seen things this weekend that I just want to scratch my eyeballs out. But okay, here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.
I think you need to distract people for a second while I upload that one because we didn't have room for it.
Oh shit! Sorry, we have another one. I think, don't we? Oh no, we don't. All right.
It's uploading now. We can just talk about your weekend.
My weekend. I was born on April 9th. What's my weekend? I don't know. You know what? I am watching White Lotus with my son. I'd already seen the first 3 seasons. He hadn't, so we're watching it together. And it's been interesting to watch a takedown of these sorts of people being done in this way. And I know there's a lot of criticisms of Mike White, the creator, but I have to say I do enjoy that show. That's all
and I've liked every season as well. When it's not something I would normally watch, but it's like you really get caught up in all these different characters and their individual perspectives, and I think it's the message is very multicultural, multi-class. Like you see the workers all have representation.
Yep.
And the characters are all well-rounded. Nobody's good, all bad. It's
Yeah.
just it's well done to me.
It's well
We
done.
killed enough
Yeah.
time.
We killed enough time. Okay, good. Yeah. Normally we're not like entertainment critique people, but all right, let's see. I'm gonna refill and watch the LOL.
This is from a comedy troupe. I don't know where they play their videos. I just saw it online. They might be Comedy Central or something. I have no idea. Hopefully we don't get banned, but this is a
If the
group
screen
called,
goes black, we'll pop it right back in. Don't worry.
they're called This Hour Has 22 Minutes.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
And welcome back to this week's episode of Describe That Video, where we ask our contestants to use their very own eyes and ears to describe that video. Contestant number 1 is Connie, business owner, mother, and advocate for feline HIV. Connie, it's time to describe that video.
I see a tree being cut down by a chainsaw.
Is that a question?
No, that's what I see, definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry, Connie. That is not what was in the video.
Yes, it was.
The answer we were looking for was tree attack saw.
But there's no way that could happen.
Yes, it is. You see the same thing I see, and I see an aggressive tree and a chainsaw simply defending itself.
No.
That's what you saw.
Was it?
Next contestant, Graham is a scientist with 3 PhDs. Let's describe that video.
Yeah, I see happy children.
Incorrect, Graham. You see a video of terrorists gathering strength for their next attack.
No, I mean, these are children smiling and playing in the sprinkler.
They're glowering and threatening people with their movements. What? Laura is our final contestant. She owns 17 dogs and under bio wrote, "You tell me." And it's time for the lightning round.
Oh.
Laura, describe these videos.
Wow, yeah. Hard to say for sure. Yeah, I need to see another angle. Oh, fake.
Congratulations, Laura. You got all 3 correct. Laura, you've just won lifetime employment with ICE.
Oh.
Thank you for playing Describe That Video.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like my humor's just been totally killed these past 10 years. I was going to say 2.5 years. I was like, no, it's more like 6 years. Actually, it's like 10 years. 10 years. 10 years marks the moment when my humor was killed.
Yeah, you're probably right for me too. I mean, I was doing satire on Twitter and writing satire books, and I just don't feel that anymore. So yeah, I get it.
I mean, it's so hard because it's barely even parody. Like we're doing that right now. We have Democrats saying, like, how can you get up there, watch murder on your screen and not call it what it is? How can Republicans have such cognitive dissonance when their administration did the same thing for a year and a half? Like, it's just, with everything.
No, Democrats not only set it all up, they set up all the conditions to make this fascist guy take power for the second time. Like, when you win the first one, it's like, yeah, everybody understood that the anti-government sentiment. They wanted somebody to throw a grenade into government,
right,
and fuck it up. But then when you saw how bad he was, everyone should have said, no, we're going to do so much better that will never happen again. But Democrats came into power and were like, your own people just thought you were so feckless and useless. And people that really understood what you're doing, no, you aren't feckless. This is intentional.
Right.
But even your biggest supporters are like, yeah, they're feckless. So they're not enthusiastically out voting for you. We get them again.
Here's the other thing that's insane. They had all the materials that we are like looking at in horror from the Epstein files, where Donald Trump and his whole administration basically, or, is all over these. And they did nothing with it.
Yeah, this could have been the smoking gun, the October surprise before the election.
Exactly.
This, if you're a strategist and you know this stuff exists, you could have sunk him.
I mean, it's insane. They had all of this information and they did nothing.
And they did it when their message to the public was, this guy's a fascist. Like, that was their whole message, which they were correct on. But like, if he is the dangerous fascist you're telling us, why wouldn't you use this shit?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you speak out against a genocide, withhold arms? Why would you give more money to the surveillance apparatus and the militarized police structure that is going to be handed over to a fascist regime? Why do that?
Yeah.
It's just insane to me. It's so disgusting. So while that was very funny and accurate, it's also just like, God, I don't know. It's just so crazy what we are living through right now. And I do feel like, I'm sorry, I don't remember who wrote the comment, but like, they want us all just our heads to bleed, because it's like, it's so frustrating to have to start from square one every time you describe the situation, or how they're complicit, or how this has been going on forever, and how Obama set everything up to hand it off to Trump in the first place. And most liberals still won't criticize him. Like, it just blows my mind. And I do think that part of the strategy, and it might not be that normie Dems, liberals, whatever, even understand that they are partaking in this psyop, or it's like the old OSS, like the precursor to the CIA tactic of, I agree with everything you're saying, just not the way you're saying it. I just feel like you're turning people off. Let's talk about it. Let's have another meeting about it. Like, those are strategies to deflate a movement, and they are doing it willingly. I don't think most people aren't getting paid to do it. Most libs, they're just doing it in their everyday life. It's insane.
Well, they are. But I think, as far as our personal energies that we have to bring to the table, you have to manage it somehow. I don't know. Everyone has a different threshold of how much bullshit they can do. Yeah. Personally, I can't go back and start from square one and talk to anybody anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me.
I know.
But I also think we've converted enough people in the world, not us, but like collectively, to agree with our positions that we need to change this, we need to change that, we need to change those things. Right. So as long as they get out and they go to these rallies, they're getting a little more radicalized. I'm letting the rallies do a lot of the lifting. I'm not going to knock on the door and talk about Bernie 2016 and the establishment with square one. I just don't have it in me. But what we need to do next is convince these people, if anything, now that they agree that, we need an actual action that's hitting pocketbooks to change the situation. Like, that's it. Pocketbooks or nothing. Like, that's it. I mean, Luigi pocketbooks combination is the way, but
I mean, that is exactly right. And I think it is interesting that more and more people are talking about a general strike. Like, even celebrities, Ariana Grande, to her 123 million Instagram followers, talks about a general strike. On some red carpet the other day, there was Giancarlo Esposito talking about we have to shut everything down. There's John Leguizamo, the same. I think more, again, it's like the same thing with Bernie. I'm so mad at Bernie right now. We're going to show a clip of him later on Theo Von. I can't even wrap my mind around who he is. But the more that the words are in the general sphere, because, 6 years ago, most normie Dems didn't even know what a general strike was, really. Like, they didn't know what the concept was, so all of those things, Medicare for all, Green New Deal, genocide, abolish ICE, defund police, all of the, abolish police, abolish the carceral system. The more people say those things, it does open up that Overton window, because I think people are so frustrated and they don't know what that there are organizations, people, activists who have been working on these policies that that would be helpful, that would change things, the wording even for years. And I think that does open up people's minds. Like words can help change minds truly when you have the vocabulary, you know.
No, I think so too. And I think the normies, even if they won't participate, understand the need for something else outside of institutional politics now, for the most part. Like they may not be on board, but they're not gonna say, oh, why are they out there doing that anymore? I don't think. I mean, collectively, most of them are like, yeah, I get it. Like they may think, well, we can still just vote for some Dems and get there. But I think that's the exception. I don't think.
Yeah. Which is like,
I don't know, but I also think we got to watch out for these movements again. Like another No Kings rally coming up. That's going to get everyone out there thinking they're doing something. Yeah, a No Kings month rally in 2 months. A general strike called for by the unions in 2028.
May 1st.
Those are delay tactics to not actually fight.
Just like what Dems are doing with ICE right now, funding the rest of the government. That was the leverage. Dum-dums, that was your leverage. So now you took that away, and now you want to have some discussion and compromise on things that are already against the law. Like,
and they're all going on TV acting like we have the dynamics in our favor because we separated it out and took away all leverage from ourselves. But now the public's going to be behind us because we have no leverage.
Just the way they did in the government shutdown in the fall. They actually had the country on their side. They said they were fighting for healthcare. Of course, they don't talk about the real solution, but okay, more, you know, the credits for health insurance companies. You know, then that's the other thing. It's like it makes you fight for, you know, it's like the force the vote thing, like, oh yeah, fight for 15. No, 15 was already wildly insufficient back then. You know, fight for more tax credits or, you know, money being funneled to the health insurance industry to supplement the Medicaid. It's just like, it forces us to fight for things that are already far right, right? Because that's now the better solution to what the Republicans are offering. It's just tragic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like we know with ICE, this is going to result in body cam. We're going to get body cams for ICE. That's the move that's going to happen probably. But all the numbers show that doesn't do anything really. It does nothing. They're going to turn them on and off when they want. They're going to withhold the evidence when there is body cam footage that the agent was complicit.
100%
blanket pardon from the president for federal crimes, which they're going to try to hide state crimes under. It
is really
it's just going to be more money for them that they're going to. It's going to go in a big pot that's going to buy guns and shit.
It's going to buy guns and it's going to buy data centers being revamped as concentration camps. That's what's going to happen, and they already are at that level where they have to take turns who gets to lie on the floor as 100 people are stuffed into a cage that's meant for 20, or their food has maggots in them, or they're not given medicine or clean water. Like, but it's a huge money-making industry. It is disgusting. Before I take off, M Sparks, thank you. Salute. Thank you for your super chat. And by the way, I agree. We talk about it all the time. And also the suppression of, in 2015, at the end of the year, the primaries were there, and there were, I think it was in not Variety, Vogue. No, not Vogue. Whatever. Now I'm not going to be able to think of the name of it. All right. Anyway, about the billionaire who could bring down 2 presidents. And
Vanity Fair.
Thank you. My brain. Yes, it was Vanity Fair. And then I think it was picked up like either in BuzzFeed or Daily Beast or something. But anyway, and it showed the flight logs with Clinton and Trump both going to, Epstein Island, Virgin Islands, or wherever his place is. And it was just taken away. And that's why Democrats, first of all, had the audacity to bring Bill Clinton up on the stage in 2016 and in 2020. They killed the Me Too movement. They actually hired the PR firm who was doing PR for Harvey Weinstein. I mean, you know, oh my God. Okay, let's get into oh my God, let's just get into ICE, I guess, or Epstein. Where do you want to start? It's just so, it's all so despicable. Like right before we came on, there's video of a pregnant woman getting shot in her stomach on US streets. I couldn't tell where it was because it just came through. But like, who does that besides IDF? Truly, like that's Nazi IDF.
Thank you, RT.
Thank you.
That's really nice.
That's so nice. Cheers. I love that. All right. I guess let's just start with ICE. I don't know. So the Dems are running around acting like, you know, well, look, we got rid of Kristi Noem. We got rid of Bavino. And we're going to work our magic. And we hold all the cards. And this is Trump.
Pulling back immigration enforcement agents out of Minnesota.
We want to keep our country safe. We'll do whatever we can to keep our country safe.
So, yeah, pulling back?
No, not at all.
Sir, what are you?
So, not pulling back? No, not at all. The crazy thing is there he is. I mean, this is like, it wraps everything up. Not pulling back on ICE, these murderous goon squad who are acting with brutality and complete impunity. He is at the premiere of Melania's documentary. They were paid, what was it, $40 million or something for this fluff.
I think 45.
Piece. Yeah. By Amazon, who, right? It was Jeff Bezos who does the documentary.
Who's in the movie a bunch, apparently.
Also trying to rehabilitate serial sex assaulter Brett Ratner, who at the height of the accusations against him fled to Israel, where all Jewish pederasts go. Now they're rehabilitating his career. They're at the premiere talking about, I mean, it's like, it's all, oh, and Epstein also was part of the group who was trying to rehabilitate Brett Ratner. He's in pictures that were just released in the Epstein files. It's everything, like everything encapsulated in that moment right there.
It is. And look, this is what I suspected would happen is they take this moment, they back down a little bit, get a little bit more public, like, hey, it's not going to be so brutal anymore. And then they just go back to it. And then they export it to another state, do the same thing. And I do think, I still stand by my theory that a lot of this is to enact the Insurrection Act close to the elections and the midterms so that they can fuck with the election a little harder to help preserve Trump staying out of prison.
Yep.
So,
yep.
You know, and it's the big distraction again. Everything's a big distraction. Say they got rid of the Kennedy Center, right? Kennedy Center is going to close for 2 years now. Why is that? Well, it's a distraction, but it's also like him blowing it up. He gets to say he's going to come in and save things, but it's because everyone's backing out of going there every day.
I think they had no performers who were willing to show up for Black History Month.
Yeah, so every event there is causing bad press for him, and that's all that is. But you know, all of it works together, and like this whole huge distraction from all the evil going on, like that is the least of our concerns. Is what happens at some art center. I mean, it's important to society, but it's also like on the list of things he's doing, it is so low that
it
it's
is,
actually
except it is
taking
what
oxygen.
Every fascist always does, right?
Yeah,
Just
they always
come
kill the arts.
like, yeah. I mean, it's like I agree with you, obviously, but it also, you know, for a while I was thinking everything was a distraction, and now I just think, no, it's just like they're just wheels off. It's like a fire sale. They're just doing whatever they want everywhere. Like, sure, some people are getting distracted by different things, but like, I don't even know that there is actually any strategy. There's like, we'll do whatever the fuck we want. What are you talking about? We can do whatever we want.
No, it's a mix, I think, completely. Like, you know, it's not there's no big master strategy to do this stuff. But like Trump, all the Epstein stuff, the new release comes out. So he has to do something disgusting to get us off of that, you know. So this is that, in my opinion.
Probably, sorry. I just
this instance.
So hot, I'm turning my air conditioning lower. All of a sudden, I'm like, whoosh, sorry, I know. Like this is the lap of luxury. I have air conditioning. I know. Sorry, I have to do it. Okay, Jezen. Yes, they do that. IDF ran over pregnant woman with a tank. I read that years ago. There are IDF T-shirts that say 1 shot, 2 kills, and there is the cartoon of a pregnant woman. Because if you shoot a pregnant woman, you might be lucky enough to kill 2 souls at the same time. That's that shirt. They wear a shirt that says 1 shot, 2 kills. I mean,
and the fact that somebody could make that art and have a career still, like that should, to put that out in a positive light, like that should be a cartoon, a political cartoon against them. That would be the one. And they're just like embracing that, it's just,
it is amazing the
world.
things that they talk about. And it's like the guy who is taking over the suppression algorithm or whatever at TikTok, where it's like, if we call ourselves Zionists, like you're a proud Zionist, that's okay. But if somebody calls you a Zionist as a slur, it's not. I mean, on some level, like, and I don't think anybody should be suppressed, but, I guess you could say on some level that's like the N-word, except the difference is the N-word was
the actual meaning.
Slave masters against the people they owned and abused. And then it was like taken back, it's like how a woman might, right? Like that's a very different thing.
You're not saying we can call ourselves Jews positively, and you can't criticize, you can't use Jewishness as a slur. You're saying Zionism is an actual political ideology,
right? That you choose.
It's not really religion at all. It's not a
you're
country
not like born
at all.
into it. You choose.
It's people who believe a certain thing, and you're saying you can't criticize that certain thing that is neither a religion, ethnicity, or country of origin. So it's none of the things that we should protect. I hate most religions. I hate all religions. I'll be honest, but I want them all protected. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whatever. I don't care. Like people should believe whatever they want to believe in the privacy of their own homes or houses of worship or whatever the hell. I won't discuss a person's religion because it's not rational. It's a belief by its nature, right? So like do whatever you need to do. I obviously have feelings about different things, parts of different religions, but
it's personal. It's a choice you came to. I don't know what got you there.
Yeah.
I change my views on things all the time. So, everyone should have the liberty to walk in and out of different religions and change their beliefs. And that's all religion is. So whatever.
Right. But Zionism is a political project of apartheid and genocide. It's not a religion. And yes, Jezen, thank you. Yes, with a target on it. It's crazy. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So does Pat. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to keep so many thoughts in my head because
of the low IQ from COVID.
Well, that's
we're going to save that for later.
I know we're going to save that for later. Macarius writing about all of the Jewish supremacy in the Epstein files, and that's a whole section that we're trying to I want to discuss it because I think, first of all, it's disgusting. Obviously, it's disgusting. I mean, I think everybody knows that. What's happening right now with Israel calling itself the home of Jews, the land of Jews, the Jewish state that's been around for Zionism's been around for 150 years and Judaism has been around for a few millennia. So Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism except that it exploits the horrors of the Holocaust as a shield while they create their own Holocaust. I mean, but it is hard right now. And again, whenever I talk about this, I want everybody to know, obviously, it's not the most pressing issue right now. And yet I am fearful that our financial collapse, the collapse of all of our small L liberal institutions, the collapse of our free speech, and a genocide in the 21st century are all laid at the feet of Jews. And I do think that it is crucial that anybody who is Jewish is especially vocal about how disgusting and atrocious and despicable everything that's happening is, and that it should never be done in my name or anybody.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Absolutely. And this comes back to our argument about not forming allyships with people of certain beliefs, even if they agree on one issue. Let's say hypothetically the US breaks its ties with Israel. So you think ICE is going to be checking papers for just Hispanic people? They're going to turn Jewish people will be a target for them. Lord, like I'm not saying this is going to happen, but like these people, they're Christian first. Like they're not America first. They're white supremacy Christian first.
Bovino was
their allegiance with the Jewish people is strictly for convenience and to expand white supremacy.
Absolutely. I mean, Bovino was lobbing slurs at the, I think, Assistant Attorney General of Minnesota. I can't remember who's Jewish. And sorry, but like you're wearing an SS uniform. If you're paying tribute to Nazis, you're not an ally.
I mean, and look at the people behind this project. Stephen Miller. I mean, he's a fucking literal Nazi. So like when you have these guys, if you allowed them to be anti-Israel,
Stephen Miller is Jewish.
Yes, I know it's
so fucking crazy.
Look, they're the first to turn on like all when they're pro. Yeah. Any of them that are we said it all. I don't want to.
I know, but so the reason that it's coming up again today after this huge dump of Epstein files is there were so many, and I haven't uploaded them yet because we were running out of room with all of our different graphics that we haven't even gotten to. But there was just a lot of disgusting Jewish supremacy. We will upload some of them, but the response online from some accounts who I had considered to be friends was to say, fuck this barbaric religion, it shouldn't exist anymore. And that's
not it. That's not it.
Like we all recognize how disgusting it was when people tried to blame all Muslims for, I mean, now we're going back to blaming Israel for 9/11 also anyway. So like, oh, well, but
it's
like
some lib Bill Maher shit. You're blaming a religion. Like if you want to do that, okay, start making a list of Christianity and all the evils that have been associated with it. Like it has done more harm in the world than Judaism. Sorry, it has, even though Judaism has done, there's a lot of Zionist shit done in its name, which is not necessarily Judaism. But if you're judging by that, you better put up the list of Christianity.
And also, like, I thought that we all are against collective punishment, right? So like, it doesn't mean that. Well, anyway, all right. Should we just?
Religion is 99% cultural. You were raised with it. It came from your family. It came from your culture and your peers. Right. So whether you're a Muslim or a Christian or Catholic or whatever you are, it's 99% of the time it's your geographic region. So
I mean, truly, yeah.
If you're so small-minded that you think that is
and listen,
God picked your people or something, like fuck off.
Yeah. Oh my God. All of that is pretty awful. Okay. So war on children. Mothers being shot in their pregnant bellies. The 5-year-old who was kidnapped with his father and sent to Texas from Minneapolis has now been returned. Of course, see, this is, we had so much to talk about and we haven't even gotten to any of our graphics, and now I haven't been able to upload anymore. The judge, I think Judge Byerly, was really scathing in his rebuke of the Trump administration and the glee that they seem to take in their sadistic attacks on communities and especially on children. But, these judges are overwhelmed. And this comes back again to Democrats. If they wanted to, one thing that you could do with the money going to ICE after you fight to abolish it is to fix our immigration system, have more judges, have more courts that can hear claims of asylum, speed up the paperwork. You wouldn't have, because right now there are, I don't know how many tens of thousands of Somali residents who are here with TPS, with temporary protected status. And I think Kristi Noem is just going to cancel their TPS. So all of a sudden they are illegal. They are here. They have all their papers. And because of our backed up system, sometimes their dates aren't for 3 years in the future. And now it's all ripped away.
It's gross. I mean, there was good news in the courts regarding Venezuelan, because Kristi Noem wanted to remove all the rights of any asylum grants from Venezuela.
Okay.
And the court said, no, you don't have the power to do that. So those people are protected now until it goes up to the next level of the courts, which is the Supreme Court. So, but that's just one group of people. And their movement is always like, break the shit out of the law, see if there's enough public pressure from Democrats to change it. There never is. So then it's like, give it to the courts. The courts always just stay whatever they put a stay in place for whatever ruling happened before it to prevent it. And they're like, well, we'll hear that case down the road. So it's like buying the evil fascist empire a year or two in most cases.
Exactly.
To continue their evil shit.
To keep breaking everything. It's long, but it's so well said. And Alec Karakatsanis has such a, like, the whole, every single thing that Democrats are proposing are shown, proven not to work. They do not work. So now we've got, what's his face, Jeffries, saying that he wants a ban on deportation of U.S. citizens as part of a deal on DHS conduct and the immigration crackdown. So it's already illegal. That is illegal already.
Yeah, their compromises are start following the existing law. That's not.
And then we'll give you 3 times the money of 2024. Because they're not even at all saying that, we've got Chris Murphy doing the same thing, acting like he's protecting people and fighting ICE. And all he's talking about is we're going to, if they want the funding, they need to wear body cameras, which, by the way, that was something that the cops, the law enforcement organizations, they wanted that. They were fighting for it. And nobody wanted it. They wanted it so that they could control the narrative, so that they could turn them off and on whenever they wanted, so that for facial recognition, so that they could smear people who they decided they wanted to go after by releasing certain parts of the video footage. And nobody was agreeing to give them the money for that. It was Obama who made it a Democratic issue. And this will protect people, even though they all knew it wouldn't, and got the money for that. And now that's become part of, the demand to reform these unreformable cops. And it's all
exactly.
Cops.
And alongside body cams, it'll be more money for training, which is the training is going to be, don't shoot people in the face. That's already illegal. The training is already, don't stop a car by standing in front of it. That's already, it's not illegal, but that's not the policy. And training says don't do that. And they just did it and shot someone in the face. I mean, so the training is not the answer.
Because the training is actually what's revved these guys up to think of communities as their enemies, as enemy combatants. That didn't happen. That's not like singular people deciding that. That is training, that every day you're out here, you are risking your life. You just want to get home at 5 o'clock for dinner. Everybody is a potential threat. That's the training. So more of that isn't going to be helpful.
Yeah. And the public buying into this, like, oh, these ICE agents are at such risk. Meanwhile, COVID is the biggest killer of these ICE agents. Fucking COVID.
I mean, truly.
My job is 10,000 times more dangerous than these ICE fucks. I mean, they show up everywhere they are, armed to the hilt to arrest a fucking 5-year-old.
I mean, tear gassing parks and preschools. They shot a 16-year-old girl in the leg in LA with a less lethal. But journalists lost their eyes with less lethals. Like, they can still be really damaging.
And nothing happens to these officers that use these arms illegally, because their real behind the scenes training is shoot them in the fucking face with them.
Yeah. Because everybody is a threat. So Graham Plattner, which again, frames it in a way that I don't agree with, but anyway, why are we negotiating? This is in response to the Jeffries, we're gonna ask them to follow the law. Why are we negotiating over things that are already illegal and banned by the Constitution? I knew Democratic leaders were stupid and ineffectual. I had no idea they were this stupid and ineffectual, which again, I think they're very effective at fighting for the people they're actually fighting for, but fine. At least he's calling him out. And the Black Caucus says to him, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. I mean,
what the fuck are you doing? You sound like ICE.
Like, yeah, everything's just like a round, like it's all a snap. It's the shades. It's, Grant, what's his fucking name? Newsom swearing and, the fight back dances of the Democrats. It's all just performative nonsense. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. We're talking about people's lives.
Yeah, and Schumer literally came out with his little TikTok video using the word fuck.
Yeah.
And then immediately caved. Like it's amazing. These guys, but they do get it. That's the point we get. But I don't mind Plattner speaking a language that people get.
I agree.
Because that's his strategy on it. I'm not backing Plattner. Like, I don't love the guy. But
yeah, although I have to say, listen, it's hard for me. I'm not a person who's ever liked the military, and especially nothing that our country has been up to these last, 30 years. So it's hard for me to wrap my mind around people who continued to go back on tours to destroy other communities in foreign lands. And yet
it's
here, everything he talks about, like just listening to his words I agree with him. I do. I agree with almost everything that he talks about. I don't know.
I do too. And I can, somebody's saying he's pro military industrial complex. That's tricky if you're still pro it. I don't know. Exactly
I didn't know that he still was.
I don't know where he stands on exactly. I can understand someone like Anthony Aguilar, who's been on our show a couple times, who's they've seen enough, and you hit a point where it just fucking snaps in you, and you the wheels click that, oh, I've been part of this corrupt system. They've all lied to me.
Yes.
And I can't unsee that. So I can hope that he's that guy, but
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too. I didn't know that with that Zainab said. I did not know that he was pro-military. I know that he was he was in the past, but I didn't know that he still is. But that part of it I really don't appreciate. And then so Philly DA,
because that does ring of Tulsi Gabbard kind of shit, like, strategically tapping into the moment of how people are feeling to win. And then maybe not winning, but then where do you go next? You go right.
I know. Okay, so that really might all happen. And again, I feel like that's a possibility for almost anybody who has served in the military, but I don't know. So I'm gonna just, sort of see. But he has been like a, member of lefty organizations. He's been a community activist and organizer for a while. But yeah, Blackwater, that's pretty rough. Okay, let's move towards more Democratic infighting. Here is Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner talking about ICE agents.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
Okay, sorry. I just saw that you can't do closed caption, and I don't know why, because I know you can do it on the replay, but I'll look and see if it's a setting on our side, but I don't know.
We definitely didn't turn anything off in that regard.
Yeah.
That would, we would not.
I'll see if I can do
Okay,
that.
first off,
yeah,
on that guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes.
Right?
Fuck yes. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I love
That's
that.
how you talk to these guys. You're an actual
Exactly.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, he's Democrat. I think he's Jewish. Krasner, I don't know. That's my own thing. And look who comes right in here, like the fucking turd that he is. Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro condemned Philadelphia's district attorney. So this is the district attorney of the city of which Shapiro is the governor. Sorry, I fucked all that up. Anyway, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania is condemning the DA of Philadelphia for making those remarks comparing ICE officers to Nazis, urging rhetoric be cooled down during an interview with Special Report on Thursday. That kind of rhetoric is unacceptable. It is abhorrent and it is wrong, period. Hard stop, end of sentence. And I'll tell you that this does to me, it's like multi-pronged, but one of the prongs is this exceptionalism that many Zionist Jews have, that the Holocaust is the worst atrocity that's ever happened. So nothing should ever be compared to it. Nobody should be compared to a Nazi or Hitler. And somehow that's diminishing what the Holocaust was.
Yeah. So somehow never forget, but if anything starts to sound like that, don't bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't bring it. Never forget what happened to us, but never forget doesn't actually mean when you see it happening, call it out, because then that's against you still.
And I don't know how that is so like offensive to people. Like, you have to win the Olympics of atrocities. Like, what is that? That somehow it diminishes what your relatives suffered? Like, it doesn't, because we need the whole point of teaching that is to recognize patterns.
Well, I mean, we know the reasons, Shapiro hit the VP list to start with was he was a Zionist. That's the game, right?
Yep.
I forget who it was. I think it was a Democratic strategist tweeted something out about that. I don't know if it's that tweet, but it was about Shapiro saying Democrats better get in line and not look for the perfect candidate in 2028 or we're in trouble.
You better figure it all out.
Defending Shapiro on this one.
Nope. Not happening.
Like, no,
I am.
What you need to figure out is it's not about perfect. It's about just align with where the public fucking stands on most of your shit. It's not, nobody's looking for perfect. Graham Plattner's not perfect, but if I was there, I would absolutely vote for him, even though I suspect a lot of shit is not right with him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, 100%. And what he's doing, and okay. So first of all, just as a reminder, Shapiro compared college kids who were protesting against a genocide to the KKK.
Which should be, if his red line is you don't bring up Nazis, why are you making something about the KKK, which is a black issue?
Right.
I mean, they were also against.
Right. But I mean, if you can only compare an apple to an apple, then we never have any analogies. Language kind of dies, honestly. Right.
Yeah.
Because everything is literal always.
Absolutely no intellectual consistency with any of these fucks. And that's the point. And you don't need DNC strategists to come in and make $2 million telling you what issues to support. Just poll the public, support those issues, and that's my DNC TED Talk for the week.
I mean, seriously,
pay $1 million.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mamdani, again, I know he's going to do a million things wrong. He's already done things that we've criticized, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But there was this big thing that, remember the Pete Buttigieg and other people, Ezra Klein, all of the great minds of the Democratic political consultant class saying that, well, that's a New York mayoral race. You can't repeat that in Texas or Alabama, or, let's take a look at union organizer Taylor Remmett in Texas yesterday. He just flipped a Trump plus 17 Texas Senate seat, and he was outspent by almost $2 million, actually over $2 million, $2.2 million by the Republican, and he still beat the WAMS, whatever. I hope I never need to know that name anyway, on an unapologetically pro-worker, a working class economy. I think Medicare for all. Like, he is a lefty kind of guy. He is not a fucking Spamberger or whatever the hell, Alyssa Slock.
Yeah. And all you got to do is look at the funding difference in that, and that tells you the Democratic Party was not behind him, and he did it without their fucking support.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and of course there are progressive people everywhere, and every time. Yes, and I mean, listen, Zainab talks about this all the time, how Democrats abandoned the 50-state project, and they just decided which issues or which states that they were going to focus on, and lo and behold, it was mostly the coastal, elites, where they could go to the Hamptons and party, or they could go to Santa Barbara and party, and forget everybody in between, because they were a basket of deplorables. But we know, look at Kentucky with Andy Beshear. And listen, I'm so annoyed with what's his name, Walls, right now, but he did a lot with a 1-seat majority in Minnesota.
Well, I mean, my theory on this is that a lot of it comes down to, as far as the strategy they adopt, it's not about winning. Like, if they adopt a 50-state strategy, they can't make as much money as if they can't get the elite donors, because there are less of them in Kentucky. There, you go to these states where there's a lot of wealth, and you can get donations.
That's right.
And that's
right.
it to me. They don't really care about winning enough. It's just like you've got this consultant class and the donor class that are fused in both their projects are making money.
That is it. That's the definition of success. And yeah, it is the issues, because, we all remember, and again, like, I know I always have to say this, but Bernie, whatever, but at a Fox town hall, he gets a standing ovation. Those issues are popular. And the same 4 million people who voted for Obama and then did not vote for Hillary didn't all of a sudden become racist, sexist people. That's not what happened. There, Obama, as much of a liar as he was, knew to run on a very progressive sounding agenda,
Absolutely. And look, if the Democrats really wanted to change the world right now, they would put a lot of money into Texas to flip Texas, right? Because you would break down so many narratives with Texas alone. And all you got to do is support the shit the public wants. That's it. And then you go for Florida and you flip Florida back. And all you got to do again in Florida is support where the public is on every issue.
Yeah. I mean, when Biden lost Florida, $15 minimum wage won. So obviously there are issues that are appealing. David, this is so disgusting. I can barely handle it. Like, I don't know how. I just Zoran Mamdani allowed police to make 66 arrests after an anti-ICE protest broke out at Hilton Garden Inn Hotel in Tribeca last Tuesday night. I saw that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I'm not going to defend him on anything that's indefensible either, ever.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And if he does too much of that shit, I'm going to flip entirely on him. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm not on the Zamdani team. Zamdani? I sound like Trump.
You sound like Curtis Sliwa.
Zamdani. Say my name.
Cuomo. All right. This was pretty good. This is Representative Tom Suozzi, Democrat of New York. his town hall went down in flames.
I know you voted to increase ICE funding, so I wanted to get something for you. This is an adult diaper for when you feed yourself. You're the type of leader we need right now. Someone who soils themselves with ashes around.
I didn't know we were doing gifts up top. I actually also have some gifts. I have some knee pads for you. You can use these while you blow Donald Trump.
I just would like to say really quick, as a Jewish man, I have never felt safer than when there is a masked Gestapo in the street.
Tell good you made a mistake. Tell Alex Penny you made a mistake in expanding funding of ICE after Renee Good had already been shot in the street.
Nobody could have predicted that ICE would have been killing innocent people. The only way we can fight anti-Semitism is by aligning ourselves with white supremacists.
Alex Peretti, Renee Good, Keith Porter. I'm reading names of people killed by ICE. And if you're going to touch me, you're going to touch me. Alex Peretti, Renee Good, Keith Porter, Parody Law. These people were killed by ICE this month. You're going to throw me out? These people, 9 people were killed by ICE this month. And you're throwing me out while I'm reading their names? How fucking dare you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just catching up to this too. Like, are they going to hold all their public meetings in churches now so they can arrest everybody under the Don Lemon law or something? Like, is that where we're headed with this? Like, it's a hate crime now because you went and spoke at. I mean, honestly,
you protested at a church, but they can arrest.
What are we doing at a church?
ICE can get in there and arrest people at church in a place of worship, or at an ER where they just arrested a family who was bringing their 7-year-old child to the ER, right? And Zainab, I saw your comment, but I didn't see it that there was an Israeli flag there. That is crazy. Also, just so we don't lose sight, Justin's drinking again. We got 3 now going from him. Thank you. I only have 3 Abrahamic religions. Thank you. People must shrug off their learned helplessness. Agree. I think they're learning it quickly. Thank you and cheers.
But that really is it. Like, we have to get out of this learned helplessness. Like, and that's what a lot of the project is. That's why they spent millions of dollars on trolls on the internet.
Right.
Started with Hillary, expanded by tenfold for the Biden Kamala administration, because they lose when the public talks to them. But okay, so we're in the next phase where it's like we won the arguments, but now we're helpless because what the fuck? Nothing is working. We have no power. So that's where we have to get our power. And
I think so too.
I don't know the answer either. Like, I don't have the answer, but like, when there's anything challenging power and authority, especially if money's involved, we have to amplify the piss out of that.
Yeah. And to see that Texas state senator with so little money, with clearly no support from Democratic infrastructure, was able to win on his actual policies. I mean, I hope we have more of that, but also I think that the community organizing, and as much, so first of all, yes, he did. And that's amazing. Jezen, thank you for your super chat. But I think also, the No Kings marches are ridiculous. Of course they are. And they are like peak lib. You can't talk about Palestine or genocide. They want everybody to be really peaceful and just sit down and just get beaten and take it or whatever. There are no demands at all. That said, just like language, I think when people start getting out in the streets and they start meeting people and they realize, oh, we're all mad, that can translate into a real action, or real demands, because they start seeing what's possible. The worst thing to do, though, is to not have any demands, not do anything, and then it makes it seem like it's all worthless,
Yeah, I think, look, I'm not saying we shouldn't go to these. We should go there as leftists and preach harder than everyone there.
Yeah.
Like, push back and say, hey, here's a real thing you can do. Like, hey, this march is cute. I support it. I'm with all the issues, but like you said, we need to have some demands and some heft behind this, not just vibes.
Yeah.
Because vibes are lawn signs and voting is not the answer.
Right.
And this whole thing with the King's rally is to tell you voting is the answer.
Exactly.
And we all know, if you're old, if you're
wait for the
2016
midterms.
Bernie, if you were 2016 Bernie and you think voting is the answer, man, you have not fucking, you sort of checked out for the last 10 years. You're a sycophant.
That is, I think it's just normie libs are still with their I voted sticker, and that's the way. Don't do anything illegal. Don't go against the law.
Yeah.
Don't kick that headlight. Don't kick their tail light. Why would you do that? Now you kind of deserve it. You're handing them excuses. That kind of shit is what gets us into total fascism.
Absolutely. And I think some of those people are now like Bernie supporters, even, which is a strange thing, which when he starts doing the shit he's doing lately rubs me doubly wrong, because you finally convinced, like, even a lot of people that didn't like you in 2016 are on Bernie's team now, but now you're more on their side than you were before.
Right.
Bernie, if you're Bernie, like, let's I think we need a wheel spin.
Okay.
And
because I know
something.
It's amazing how many things that we had to show, and we've shown like 3.
Yeah, baby.
We're ranting today. Well, I'm ranting. I don't know. This we have. This we do.
Wait. I better spin again. I'm at the end of this bottle. No worries. I've got another one right here.
Yeah, baby.
There we go. All right. I'm gonna pour a glass of wine and listen to some good music.
Every day them get up, them look on TV, them read the newspaper, them want to see the truth. But them can't see the truth, because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Don't criticize the Democrats, cause they're all that we've got. You better keep your mouth shut and suppress critical thought. And don't go drawing any left-right parallels as if they didn't do a good job of that by themselves. Cause it's not time, it's not time, it's not time. It's not time, it's not time, it's not time. We heard the messages from the canaries, but it's not the time or place ahead of the primaries. And once the right's in, it'll be a bad time too. Don't you know, no matter what, it's never about you. Cause it's not time, it's not time, it's not time. It's not time, it's not time, it's not time. It's not their fault they committed genocide. The COVID rise, fake cops and ICE, we take it all in stride. And we'll keep shifting the Overton window right, as long as we clear our names in the history we write. Cause it's not time, it's not time, it's not time. It's not time, it's not time, it's not time. It's not time, it's not time, it'll never be time. It's not time, it's not time, not now, not later, not ever, ever.
I love her. She's awesome. We showed another one of her videos about masking, which was awesome. And I know her name is Julie Says Things is her handle on TikTok, but I don't know her real name.
Oh man, I forget. Yeah, we should have her on or something, I think.
Yeah, I would love it.
Play a song for us live. We spin the wheel and lands on her.
Oh my
Although
God.
she'd have to be waiting in the background. We can't do that, but we should have her on and play a song.
We should make the wheel just one big song.
Yeah, a live wheel day where we just spin and.
Oh, interesting.
But then they'd have to be in the audience the whole time. It's
Yeah,
but
that
it's like,
doesn't seem fair.
she's great.
Yeah.
She's always she's a leftist. She's stuck with the masking. She's hard on the administration.
Absolutely.
She's not just like, she's never defaulting back to you got to vote for Joe Biden shit. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so I guess, are we just moving over to Epstein, or did you want to stay on any of the ICE
I
stuff?
could go either way. What do we
Yeah.
got? ICE stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of ICE stuff still.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some just horrific videos. We've got oh my God, the Willie Detention Center, where children are being caged. This is the one where they all look like they're out of Handmaid's Tale, where they're all wearing like red and blue. It's in Texas. This is Eric Lee, who's an attorney for one of the families who's there. I think they're holding either 5 or 7 of the same family.
Water is putrid. Even though baby formula has to be mixed with this water, sometimes kids can't even drink it. The food often has bugs, it has dirt, it has particles. Medical care is routinely denied. My client, one of my clients had appendicitis, a child, in this same El Gamal family. The officials at this facility, when he came to them writhing in pain, screaming and crying, they told him, take a Tylenol and come back in 3 days. It wasn't until he passed out and started vomiting in the hallway that somebody finally came and took him to an urgent care, where they made him sit for 6 hours, but without a doctor, without an appendectomy, before they finally, in the middle of the night, someone decided, well, maybe we should take this kid to San Antonio for his surgery. That's the type of treatment that these children are experiencing in this place.
What does that make you worry or imagine maybe happening at times behind closed doors in these detention centers?
Well, I don't have to imagine it. Other clients of mine are detained in places like the East Montana facility in Texas. They are being beaten by guards. They wrap flannel around their fists. They take them into the shower where there's no cameras, and they beat them up so that it doesn't leave bruises. That is what is being experienced in some of these facilities. It's very difficult to, that was an adult, that particular story. But these children are routinely subject to verbal abuse, to racial abuse, to guards telling them if they try and complain. Somebody told me today, don't waste my oxygen. That's a line that the ICE officers say if you try to ask for a little bit more food, maybe a little bit more privacy, religious accommodations. So the Trump administration, they're professional liars. Nobody should expect anything different. They're now assassinating American citizens in the streets of America.
He's a fantastic attorney. I actually think he's a part of the World Socialist website, the Socialist Party with them. He is such a fierce, advocate for his clients. That is horrifying. And they're planning more of these all across the United States. This is it says planned 9,500 beds in Hutchins, Texas could fit the daily average jail population of all of Dallas County, with thousands of beds to spare. And it's all over the country. 23 different sites are part of the agency's warehouse plans. And again, just as a reminder, they're going to get rid of, deport, whatever, all of the immigrants. And then they're going to turn their sights on people who they retroactively make non-legal citizens. Oh, you're muted.
Yep, they are. And the other thing is, look, this ICE detention theory, not theory, but the strategy, it's a new opportunity. And so everyone in power who's looking to make money, who has friends that are rich and want to make money too, they bought into this. It's an opportunity. So they're like, hey, here's a way to exploit the American citizens so all of us in our circle can get rich. And that circle is not just Republicans, it's Democratic donors as well. They're all profiting from this. Yep. So that's why you're seeing the two new industries are deportation and tech. Yep. And so you're getting you're getting AI data centers and detention centers. Like those are the two things being built everywhere. I just heard yesterday of this big, huge project in Sacramento that's going to refurbish the downtown. And at the center of it is a fucking AI data center, right? So, you know, they're going to bring in this data center that justifies doing all this other good stuff around it, but we're all going to be jobless. So
those centers are being built for American citizens eventually. They are going to turn us into the illegals. Like just even talking about it that way. I think that's another reason that, like, I think I mentioned that when I met one of the producers of Breaking Points and Griffin, he's, you know, I think he's a lefty. He was at the Abdul El Sayed fundraiser, and I couldn't help myself. And I know this is why, like, this is why I don't go out much. But I was like, you know, I really can love Crystal sometimes, but she validates this like disgusting xenophobe who talks about people, Sagar, as illegals, you know, like, and when you talk about the illegal and illegal, like you're dehumanizing them. And then what you're also doing is forgetting once again that the law is arbitrary. They take it and they change it. They hand out papers for you that make you legal, and then they pull them right back while you're doing everything you're supposed to do if you're showing up to your, you know, ICE or, you know, immigration appointment. So like when you start engaging in that and deciding like, oh, that's a terrorist, that child's just going to grow up to be a terrorist. Well, you know, they don't have the same kind of values that we do. Look at how their community is, right? Like all of those racist, bigoted generalizations that reduce people to some awful idea that you have of them that's likely completely undeserved. But what that helps do for these fascists, and by the way, that's why scratch a liberal, because they ascribe to many of these same beliefs. It makes it easier for them to say, well, what did she do to deserve it? He kicked a taillight. That wasn't great. He had already had altercations.
Maybe don't kick a taillight.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go to a protest with the camera with the purpose of recording people at that protest.
You're kind of getting in their way. And did you notice Renee Good's wife? She was kind of taunting them. Like all of that shit is handing over the argument to the worst people in the world, which is why, you know, like with abortion, just, anytime you want it, on demand. Absolutely. I don't even want to talk about any other part of it. And there's nothing you're going to say that's going to make me change that. You're not picking away. I'm not giving you any more ammunition than you already think you have.
Absolutely. Look,
something
this hat, right?
Yeah. Yep. Immigrants make America great. You're muted.
Oh, I muted. I thought you said I wasn't muted, so I muted myself.
Oh, sorry.
This takes it back to like proceeding why we need, like, why are we doing any of this in the first place, motherfuckers? Because if you look at the data, immigrants don't harm this country. We need them tremendously.
Yeah.
They are cooperating. 70% of the people don't have any records at all for any crime. And the whole plan that the public wanted to support, which fuck you Democrats for getting the public behind this message anyway, but that was the violent criminals. And we're getting, you know, 1 out of a fucking 10,000 or something is a violent criminal. You're giving the Nazis fucking bonuses, like they're hunting scalps, like this is the fucking 1800s or something. I mean, what are we doing? You know, so this place we're at was inevitable once Democrats conceded the issue that immigrants were the problem.
And it is amazing when you think about Biden coming in, restoring empathy. He killed the Me Too movement, killed even the idea of Medicare for all or a public option, killed the follow science, told everybody to risk their mask off, and killed the idea of the Dreamers Act and a path to citizenship and I remember George W. Bush talked about being a compassionate conservative. I mean, he was a fucking asshole, but a compassionate conservative and treating immigrants kindly. Like, yeah, do not come, do not come. Exactly. Justin, exactly. I mean, all of you, I know everybody, we're all on the same page, and I'm seeing as my eyes are like crossing as I'm like looking and trying to show you. Okay. So that argument of people being illegal, you know, I keep coming back to Norman Finkelstein and his response to October 7th on October 8th or 9th when he was on Useful Idiots, and compared, you know, he said, these are people fighting for their liberation. They are living in an open air concentration camp. They tried the peaceful marches. They tried democracy with, you know, Hamas. They voted in Hamas, and they immediately were, you know, set siege on and denied water and calories. They do the peaceful March of Return. They're shot in the knees, where IDF soldiers are, you know, having games against each other, contests who can shoot more people in the knees and make them amputees. And also, nobody knew that that concert was going to be there. It was not supposed to be there. Also, IDF, who was supposed to be stationed there, most of them were in the West Bank. And also, they were told to stand down when it first happened for the next 3 hours. And also, they did the Hannibal Directive and killed hundreds of their own. And also, that 1,200 number, which came down from the initial 1,400, was, I think, a third of them were active duty IDF soldiers, and all of them have already, you know, been in the IDF. So they're not okay, but fine. But active duty. And the lies about the rapes and the beheaded children, the babies and the babies in the ovens. And you still have people calling Hamas terrorists and talking about the atrocities of October 7th and those lies. And when I see that, I feel like nothing makes a difference, because you can hand people every piece of fact and data and evidence, and they don't listen.
Well, that's the truth. I mean, people are emotionally driven in this, and people pick a side and get calcified into their positions. And that's why the break from the party that a lot of us got with Bernie took us to actually analyze facts. And those facts have led us to now largely breaking with Bernie on this issue, because we're not fucking the people they said we were, who were sycophants and like Bernie bros, and just like, you can't, we're looking at facts and they're out there. I mean, it's like with COVID, with Palestine, with ICE, like all this stuff is, if we had a media reporting on any of this stuff, honestly, we would be in such a different place.
I agree. And, you know, here's the other thing. They do this all the time. I think they did it with Pizzagate. Like, I think that there are these sort of psyops and condemnations of certain groups. And what that does is it creates such chaos that then people can't focus on the reality of, no, Bill Clinton's actually a child rapist. Like, maybe Pizzagate's not real, but the Epstein stuff is real, right? So like all of that kind of stuff. And like, it's flooding the zone, right?
You're right. And AI is another layer of just murking it all up a little bit, you know? And then,
yeah,
you know, we're not in the Epstein stuff. We'll get in that real soon, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But with the Epstein stuff, it's like, okay, they're just hiding behind this. Like, we released all the documents. Some of it's real. Some of it's just fake stuff that we investigated and found out was fake. Go nuts. Yeah. Like, so that way you can make your own decision on, was that some stuff that some investigation proved was fake? Can you show us the fucking follow-up investigation of any of these things that we think that we know were handed to the FBI? Like, that's
okay. You want to know something crazy? And like this part, you know, I need to do my own research. Oh, that's what I want to say is do your own research, because they made do your own research like, you know, an insult about MAGA people and the people who were taking the, you know, what they said it was a horse drug, but obviously it's prescribed to people too for GI issues. You know, the ivermectin. Yeah, it's just not effective against COVID, but it's an effective human drug. It's like saying, carrots are horse food, right? Like, it's like, okay, yes, they do give it to horses in a different dosage, but like it's also for humans, but not for COVID. But they turned all that so that then when you're watching Leanna Wen or Ashish Shah or what's the guy, the Tom in the bubble guy saying, you got to go out, live your life, go rip that mask off. The vaccines are 100% safe and effective. They stop, not only do they protect you, but they stop transfer. And they just lie after lie after lie. And the reason we know that those were lies is not because we did our own research with like just randos on, like we were reading scientific studies. Yeah. It was like from the British Medical Institute. Yeah.
I didn't find a chiropractor saying the shit I wanted to hear.
Right. Exactly.
I'm looking at the scientists and
Right.
the collective group of scientists who study this stuff closely. I mean, even California CDC just recently they're doing ads, literal ads now, finally, fucking 7 years later on, hey, if you're in high trafficked public areas, you should wear a mask. But better than nothing. I mean, you should wear it 95 too. Like that should have been mainstream the whole time, but they've lost the plot so much that the libs don't believe it now.
I know. And that's the problem. And so what they've done is they've made this sort of like chaos of people who aren't following what the CDC says, which I wasn't under Biden because I was wearing masks. We got shows blacked out on YouTube because we were going against the advice that was coming out of CDC, which was wear a mask. Like the vaccines, and I've gotten all of them. But like, I understand why people have different issues with them, but a mask works with any of the strains of COVID, a good, a respirator. So like, but what that did, it muddied all the waters. Right. Anyway,
it did. And we're not going to go on to COVID, but since we're on COVID briefly, we should just hit it. Cause we only have a couple slides on it about COVID, and I don't even know where they are.
They're at the bottom.
Where are they?
They're at the bottom. Do you see
that? Okay. Yeah. So a major study. I shared this tweet, but you should read the study. But let me get the comments off the screen.
Oh, here I got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But this was a study of. Geez, now I'm going to make the number up, but I feel like it was like 70 million people or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a massive number, regardless. It's not some number where this was not some obscure study. They studied the people that had the vax and didn't have the vax. And if you had the vax, your heart attacks and strokes declined. Number of heart attacks and strokes declined massively.
Yes.
So like, that's the number one. Okay, if you're going to believe science, you're not going to find a bigger study of numbers of people.
Right. Right.
And so, yes, myocarditis is a real thing that happens to some people after getting a vaccine, but relative to your long-term impact and risk from getting COVID versus taking this vaccine, it's not even fucking close.
Right.
So the anti-vax nonsense about the heart attacks, it's just garbage.
Well,
just flat garbage.
And also the response that a body has to the vaccine, the idea is that your body would have an even more severe response to the virus. So which I don't want anybody to have a bad response to the vaccine. And I know people did and have, and I'm not negating that, but like science has to be numbers. So yes, a person might have to take his own or her own approach based on what is happening in your own body. But the numbers show that getting COVID is much worse on your heart than getting the vaccine, even if you're a person who has a bad response to the vaccine, right? So like, that's what you're comparing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Because if your test was, let's test people one day after taking the vaccine and how many people died and how many people didn't. Well, the people that took the vaccine would have died more a day after. But now we're 7 years later from the vaccine, and long term, yes, this is not even close.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I'm gonna let you have it because yeah. Also, this one was crazy. COVID may have increased the number of adults in the U.S. with an IQ of less than 70 from 4.7 million to 7.5 million. I mean, that is crazy. And the number, like when they talk about the neurological difficulties in children who were born to mothers who had COVID when the children were in the womb, all of this has been horrific. And, you know, most of it happened under Biden. So that's the follow the science crowd. You're muted.
Sorry. And look, if you think we're just scared to go out of our apartment, we're hypochondriacs, whatever. I don't care. I'm not at all. I fucking
I don't have time to get cancer and be sick. Like that's not what I want to do.
Never was that guy. I just always question things. And like, you know, if you're not curious during a pandemic about science, I don't know. That's just not me. I'm going to be looking at the science on it. I'm looking hopefully for some way to get back into normal integration in society without wearing a mask.
Yep.
But it doesn't exist right now if I care about my long-term health.
Yep.
Sorry. But here's the NHS. They also ran a big study. Look at when all the sick absence rates. This is all NHS staff.
Yep.
So once COVID hit, now we just got people out sick all the fucking time. Like crazy. It's just the normal. The new normal is an upward arrow. It's not like it plateaued and we're like leveled off and so we have this much disease in our society. So we're just a little bit more sick at work now. It's just going up.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no downward trend to any of this.
Nobody's even trying to prevent it anymore. Like it's just like there's no plan. It's just part of the new normal. But what's so funny, and I mean, we talk about this all the time, but like people say, oh, it's just cold, it's just allergies, even it's just the flu. Nobody ever says, oh, it's just COVID, ever, because they know. They know.
Yeah, I just have COVID. Yeah, like it's like what's the lady who just died who was hilarious? Catherine
O'Hara. It was that
Catherine O'Hara. I don't know if it was COVID related, but like she lived a great life, seemed like a wonderful person, was hilarious, but she also hid COVID from her entire film staff so she could finish a movie, and she got a lot of backlash from.
Are you serious?
COVID advocates were like, yeah, no, it came out that she hid them, you know, and it's one of those capitalist pressures things. She probably was still a good person, but she's fighting like, okay, the movie would have to shut down if I come out now and say I have COVID or something. You know, I don't know. I'm not defending her, but like, you don't go to work with COVID. That's insane that you would go to work and risk killing people with COVID.
That is insane. Because you know what happens. Like you have your makeup person is right here. The person who's lighting you comes that close. The person who's doing your hair, like you are so close to everybody who is helping you. That is insane. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, she did say she tried to stay away from people, but you know, you're in a movie, like you can't, right?
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. Okay, so I brought that up. I know. Are we crossing over into Epstein now? Where are we? It's been a lot.
If we are, we're spinning the wheel.
Okay. All right. Well, wait. Where were we? Are we going to show the? Are we going to show the Bernie thing?
Yeah. Let's get that anger out of the way before we spin the wheel.
This is so like enraging that this was last week. He went on Theo Von's show. Where the hell is it? Here. I mean, unbelievable.
It felt like Trump like just sort of went with Netanyahu on whatever was he wanted to do there. And it felt also like as a regular American, like we were supposed to be the ones to go help in some instance. I think a lot of young people are kind of discouraged about our relationship with Israel and what does that mean, like especially like with AIPAC and influencing our elections and stuff like that.
Let me just say a word on that because it's an issue I've been deeply involved in. On October 7th, Hamas committed a real atrocity. I mean, they went in, they invaded Israel, they killed, 1,200 men, women, and children, a lot of kids, committed sexual abuse, etc. Disgusting, They are a terrorist organization. Israel had a right to respond, like any government, that's attacked.
And I mean, I don't watch Theo Von. I don't know if there was pushback, but like that, it's insane to me that he will say that. And he's the best senator on Israel.
If Theo Von is on your left, you're wrong, right? So same thing goes with if Tucker Carlson is on your left, if that lib with the mustache who's got a show, who's the Democratic hero, is on your left, anyone's on your left in media, in big media, you're fucking wrong. And shame on Bernie for protecting his Zionist state. Like, fuck that.
Truly
Bernie.
Shameful.
Like, just make me want my money back from you harder.
My money, my time, my hopes. Like, I don't understand how that is still possible. I really don't. But anyway, all right, let's spin.
All right.
I wanted everybody to feel as depressed as I am.
Yeah, baby.
All right. 1 second. Ay. My cursor disappeared. Close. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Look at that puppet. That's right.
All right. Let's go. Whoa, hello. This one's about otters. There might be a little message in here still politically.
A little bit of a slow news week in marine biology. So I thought we could just take some time to watch these otters just destroying ice. I mean, just look at the way that they all gang up, group together in order to obliterate ice. Now, the reason that we will give the otters ice is because it does simulate some natural behaviors when they destroy it. But let's be clear, there is nothing natural about this ice. This is something that we made so that the otters could destroy it. It might not look like it because their arms are really short, but otters actually have really strong arms, and ice is pretty weak, really. It's very fragile. It breaks very easily. Anyways, I'm just going to sit here and we can enjoy the rest of this video of sea otters completely dismantling ice.
Yeah. Everybody has a different playing style. The calm and the crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Hey, let's go. And you know what the cool thing is? I should have put her name up. I'm sorry. But she's an actual marine biologist who does regular ass marine biology videos all the time.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
She just threw this in. She's like, nothing political here. Here you go. So good.
I love that. I love that. Now also, what you want to believe is that the people who love animals love all creatures, and that translates across. It's like there's one, and now I don't know which doctor it was, but I think it was the one that we showed a couple weeks ago, who is a big, COVID protection advocate. And like the week before that, I saw some Zionist stuff, and you're just like, wait, what is happening? What, so like what you want is, yes, of course, the people who love children, love animals, love like who are on the left, that's like, I don't know why it shouldn't be universal to all situations. Right. Yeah. Okay. So there is just so much. Are we just going to go into the Epstein stuff? I guess let's just go into the Epstein stuff. It's just horrifying. This is Trump talking about the Epstein files really quickly, and then we'll get into some of them.
The latest release of Epstein files, and do you think your critics will be satisfied with?
Well, they should be, because it looked like this guy Wolf was a writer, was conspiring with Epstein to do harm to me. And I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some very important people that not only does it absolve me, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left. That Wolf, who's a third-rate writer, was conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to hurt me, politically or otherwise. And that came through loud and clear. So we'll probably sue Wolf on that. And maybe the Epstein estate, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to certainly sue them.
You want to sue the Epstein estate?
Well, you may. I guess so, because he was conspiring with Wolf to do harm to me politically. That's not a friend.
Okay. So obviously there are horrific accusations all throughout these files against Donald Trump, raping children. His whole, this, I think a lot of people have known for quite some time, his whole Miss America organization was basically a front for child prostitution. Everybody in his surroundings, but also obviously in the Democratic administration and their surroundings also, but was part of it. So, Howard Lutnick saying that he, and now of course, where is all of my stuff? All right. Anyway, Howard Lutnick, the billionaire who serves as President Trump's Commerce Secretary, planned a visit to Epstein's island in 2012. Lutnick previously claimed that he was so revolted by Epstein that he had cut ties with him years earlier. This is the proof from 2012. We're landing in St. Thomas early afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart. So can we come? Yeah, come, whatever. So that's the guy who said that he, had nothing to do with him. Here is Elon Musk saying just in September. So Sky News said Elon Musk and Prince Andrew named in the latest Epstein files release. And Elon Musk says, shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. That they name me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. Then we see, this is from 2013. Any plans for New York, the opening of the General Assembly has many interesting people coming to the House. This is Epstein writing to Elon. And Elon responds, I run and lead product design engineering for two complicated companies. Moreover, SpaceX is about to launch what is arguably the most advanced rocket in history. Flying to New York to see UN diplomats do nothing would be an unwise use of time. He's such a fucking little prick.
Yeah, but look at the top caption too.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, because this goes, the bottom is the first one, right? And so then Epstein says, do you think I am retarded? Gross. Just kidding. There is no one over 25 and all very cute. So that's 2013. This is 2012. Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year. And so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I am looking for. This was sent at 6:07 a.m. on Christmas morning of 2012. Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. and writing that you need to rape some little girls on Christmas morning.
These guys are so they're hiding behind Trump's cover of, Trump gave that little speech on the plane, the presser, to the plane and saying it's just like gaslighting as hard as fucking possible so that he hopes his people that are too dumb to do their own fucking research are going to eat it up and this all proved I was right. Don't go any further. Go forth and prosper, MAGA.
Here are the people who, we didn't even get to this, but just to show what these people are all involved in with ICE in their surveillance state operation. It's a $1.2 billion endeavor to track everybody, everything we write, everything we say, every move we make, everything we buy, every hospital visit, every death, every birth, everything. He knows that. And he thinks that it's not going to somehow pop up somewhere? Like the whole endeavor of the, Mossad Epstein thing was cameras everywhere. And to have like what Palantir is doing now to the whole world is what Epstein was doing to all the most, powerful elite, right?
Exactly. Oh, 100%. And that's why they're just blurring this. They're putting the message out that some of that was fake. Part of the investigations that we determined was fake. They're not commenting on this particular thing, saying this was fake.
Right.
It's just like WikiLeaks round 2 of some of it you can't trust. And we're just we're in a measure of absolute transparency, we're releasing everything. Some of it's fake. And that's the message to run with. Some of it fake.
And a lot of it's just redacted. And we also by accident didn't redact some of the victims' names.
Yeah, but here's that guy. He probably did something. That's also part of this. Like, there's I don't remember this thing exactly, but
wait, what are you saying?
No, I'm not. I don't know enough about it to even talk about it. But there's one thing. Skip it.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Here is nice billionaire, good billionaire. I don't even know what the fuck. Just remember how despicable, like truly depraved Obama's post-presidency has been. All he's done is vibes and make millions of dollars like on Netflix documentaries or whatever the hell, and then go parasailing with Richard Branson, who tried to give Epstein tips on how to rehabilitate his image, saying that if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago by sleeping with a 17-and-a-half-year-old, this is the Dershowitz defense, and were punished for it, that you've more than learned from your lesson and have done nothing that's against the law since. And yes, as a single man, you seem to have a penchant for women, but there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, something along those lines. Because even if she was 17 and a half, she was not willing. Like these women were being held there. There are graphic poems from some of these young girls talking about forced abortions and the blood everywhere, talking about the delivery of her baby that she didn't even get to hold before it was taken away and given to someone else. Like, it doesn't matter how old they were not there willingly. I mean, it does matter how old, whatever. It all matters. But like the changing the discussion to is 17-and-a-half-year-old close enough to 18, legal, whatever. No, rape.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's rape.
But it is all IDF tactics, which is the Mossad element to this, which is why they covered for him largely, because you got two parts of it. You got the fact that he was part of Mossad doing cover for doing intelligence for Israel and the US. And then you got the people implicated in the US in his traps, in his getting brought to the island and evidence against them, and the videos that the State Department is saying they didn't release anything implicating anyone, is what that's their public message, is like, we didn't want to release anything implicating anyone. At the same time, Patel is saying if there's anything in there, we would go after it. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
And we're all reading every day from people that are investigating this stuff closely, clear trails to where we should be investigating this thing and that other thing. And we want to know what happened with that thing. And there's no information on it. What happened to that thing? It just could be fake. Some of it's fake. That's the answer. That's how they're trying to get out of this.
And also, and now it's done. Like, we gave you half of what we were supposed to. We're not prosecuting anybody. And now the investigation's over. This is Deputy AG Todd Blanche. Listen to his words about what they excluded.
Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
So they have evidence of torture, child sexual assault, and deaths.
And the key thing here, which is, a big part of it is the order allowed them to protect anything part of an investigation. So what'll happen is that they're claiming there's some investigations, right? So there's, they immediately launched an investigation into Trump, like
Right.
remember when the order first came out? And so anything that could be a part of that was not released because per the congressional bill or statute or wherever it was that caused all this, that was protected. So they protect themselves. They said, well, we're investigating. So now all that information is part of an investigation. So unless we follow up and force them to put some public, a name to what are these investigations, we will not know where to follow up and demand the next response to get the answer to the questions we all have about these different chains of these paths we should be following. And that's what they hope ends it, And so they're going to gaslight us with Trump saying it all proves me right and go nuts. But I'm going to sue people now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It keeps getting worse. This is a letter to Bill Gates. He's upset because Bill Gates says that he can no longer be in meetings alone with him because his wife Melinda is upset. And Epstein responds in this long tirade, what he would have done if I were you. I would have bought a house for the person who had protected me and who had helped me so much in my scientific endeavors, the whole thing. And at the end, he says, to add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, your request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your penis. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to redacted name, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. In return for all of these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I am not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide you the same level of service and dedication that I've done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship. And then he writes a letter resigning. And he says, I have been caught up in a severe marital dispute between Melinda and Bill. I have the greatest respect for my friend of 7 years and wish them both well. In my role as his right hand, I have been asked and wrongly acquiesced into participating in things that have ranged from the morally inappropriate to the ethically unsound, and have been repeatedly asked to do things that get near and potentially over the line into the illegal. From helping Bill to get drugs in order to deal with consequences of sex with Russian girls, to facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments, as I am a medical doctor but have no prescription writing ability. I mean, when you have Epstein saying you're making me cross a line that I don't want to cross into illegal actions, which obviously, like, I mean, I don't think he really believed that what he was doing with Bill Gates was worse than any other thing that he was doing. But
he's covering his ass in an email.
Yeah.
Is how I read that.
Yeah.
And that's the Mossad piece to it. This is the intelligence piece. I just put in writing in response to you something. Yep. Yeah. You say, do whatever your $1 billion are going to do to me. This is now in writing. So
yep.
I got you.
Here's Gates, Bill Gates, he's writing this to Mandelson, who's a labor, secretary of, I don't know what his actual title is in the UK. Mandelson, who I think just resigned today. Spent the day with Gates in Seattle having monstrous fun. This is, okay, I don't know this doctor. This is a new CBS hire. Bari Weiss just hired this guy, Peter Attia. He says, the biggest problem with becoming friends with you, the life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell the soul. And then this was in 2016. Pussy is indeed low carb. Still awaiting results on gluten content, though. I mean, these people are so beyond. And by the way, at the beginning of this, the subject is got a fresh shipment. That's the subject of the one where Peter Attia, new hire to CBS News, he's some like longevity doctor, best-selling longevity doctor. The biggest problem with becoming friends with you is the life you lead is so outrageous, I can't tell a soul. And the subject is got a fresh shipment. The pictures of Jeffrey Epstein with children, some of them are in their floaties in a pool, or a little girl, lots of little girls just wearing shirts, nothing on their bottoms. I mean, like a towel or underwear. A lot of them have a watch that looks like a tracker.
And there's a video of him chasing some girls around his kitchen. I saw, and it's like, it's mixed between laughter and crying.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the thing about this is like what these emails expose, whether you can pin one person was literally also a pedophile or a part of the sex ring and raping women that were forced, you know, to come to these islands. The thing is, they all knew about all of it. That's the part, regardless of what they did themselves. And for this guy in power now to be joking about all this stuff, it really just shows. And for Bill Gates, our good leftist billionaire, and I've watched his interviews about some of this stuff. Like, you know, he hasn't pinned down this latest stuff in an interview, as far as I know, but he was asked about some of this stuff in the past, and he just looks like such a fucking liar.
Oh, it's hideous. I mean, I'm so glad he's exposed. You know, we've been talking about him forever, especially because he denied releasing the patent for the very first vaccine that was incredibly effective, the mRNA of COVID, to the whole global South. I mean, millions of people probably died because of that, right?
Absolutely died.
Monstrous. Buying up all the farmland, injecting people in Africa with different vaccines. I mean, you know, there's a reason that some people don't trust vaccines, for sure. Okay, let's just like get through some of these because it just keeps going. This is Reid Hoffman. Remember, this was Kamala's surrogate who gave her $7 million and then spent the whole time campaigning for her in public saying, we're going to get rid of Lena Khan, another good millionaire. He was asked to participate in, Reid Hoffman was working with that Joy Ito at MIT, trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to come to 2 days of forbidden research, which was trying to figure out a way to create child-sized sex robots. But then it wasn't that Epstein, you know, didn't want to come, but finally backed out saying it might not be good optically because of his history. This was in 2016. So that's Reid Hoffman. This one was really interesting to me. And this I need to do way more research into. But this account, and I don't know anything about the account, but all of those different graphics are showing that he met with Christopher Poole, who was the guy named Moot, who created 4chan. And 4chan is that, you know, dark web, right-wing child or like white and right wing, like Nazi child sex assault. That's what like gave it its like, that's how people know it, as a place where right winger, no, I shouldn't, I mean, right wingers, white supremacists, Nazi child rapists got together to chat in 4chan. I even think that that's where QAnon and all those like Pizzagate and everything, I think that's also where those theories sprung out of. But if that's true, and we know that Epstein worked with Steve Bannon to help get Trump elected, what he was doing, it's so much like how, Israel, Netanyahu, they'll meet with far right white supremacist fascists because it's the same project, just being perpetrated by a different group.
Well, yeah, and I mean 4chan is the army of MAGA. Like that's the core base. Like if there's a group of people that MAGA and Trump are still trying to appeal to, it's that group. Not that 4chan is still
like Groypers and
as
Nick
it was.
Fuentes?
I mean, it's predates them, but yeah, it's the web that was like the dirtiest, scummiest people you ever met. It's where
yeah,
it's white. Yeah, it's white. It's where if you were gonna get kicked off the internet, you could still be on 4chan.
Right,
you were
exactly.
like you could put up I'm gonna murder. You could say whatever you wanted on 4chan,
right?
And you would get praised for it. It's the meme culture. It's what evolved into this meme culture of like, haha, we're being unwoke,
shocking, and like
because
gross.
we want to kill anyone not white or something, openly.
Because so much is coming out about his dealings with so many different countries, fomenting chaos, but all in the service of the Israeli project. I think this is the death of Israel. Like, I think Israel is done. They are committing suicide by committing genocide. And that's what I think. I don't think any of this is helping them. I don't think attacking every single one of your neighbors, bombing everybody, committing genocide, walking away from every peace treaty, violating every ceasefire, all of that. But in their lunatic mentality, they think that having these tensions and destabilizing whole regions is helpful to their project. And he was part of all of that, moving money, making sure that arms got to right-wing militia groups. I don't know. It's just, he was part of everything. Every single person in power had dealings with him.
Shockingly large amount, right? So the influence this guy had was way beyond anything, any economic, like good guy who could shelter you money and get tax breaks for you, and the banks could do. Like, he should not be texting a Democratic congressperson while there's a hearing on the Senate on the floor, and feeding her questions. That's our Democrat.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, because she was,
but it is really
Virgin
like
Islands.
It does connect this whole thing to Israel and the big project of Israel sinking, because both parties are protecting these files, because it shows like the whole thing could fall apart, we're the last fucking thing keeping Israel afloat right now.
Yeah.
Like, if we ever broke ties a teeny bit, the country would be like done overnight, instead of what's going to happen anyway in 10 years or so.
Right.
It's going to be a fucking hellhole over there. But
yeah,
without us right now behind them, like, oh my God, the world hates them so fucking much.
Everybody despises them justifiably. And yes, we are the only ones keeping them afloat.
Yeah. And they don't get me wrong, they hate us equally. That's the thing. They hate us almost equally. But the difference is we still have some power.
Right.
you know, economic power and heft and all our bullshit, but like that's all in massive decline. So like, you know, we might jump out and try to self-preserve the US and cut ties, and then they're fucking done.
Yeah, I mean, the damage has already been done by our own leaders to us, right? Like we don't manufacture anything, we don't have healthcare, we don't have a living wage, like all the things that we know that we're in such economic despair, that was done by our own leaders. And they just went around Congress, Trump, to give another $6 or $7 billion to Israel. Let's just finish up really quickly because let's a shout out to real one, Norm Finkelstein, who was hit up by a Harvard professor, Robert Trivers, to meet with Epstein. And he writes back, this is Norm Finkelstein writing to this professor, sworn testimony of Jane Doe number 3. So this is in 2015, but there was already, obviously, like we've all known who Epstein was for 2 decades now. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz was around Epstein frequently. Dershowitz was so comfortable with the sex that was going on that he would even come and chat with Epstein while I was giving oral sex to Epstein. That's a young woman, a girl, I don't know, Jane Doe. That's her testimony. And Finkelstein then writes, my guess is if Epstein put your daughter at age 15 in such a position, you wouldn't publicly describe him as a friend and person of integrity. In fact, I would hope you'd promptly throttle both Epstein and Dershowitz. And then he never wrote back again. That's what Norm Finkelstein. He wasn't cavorting with the high spy. He has integrity, and that was his response. So cheers to him. You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you know, he didn't write a book about it. None of this was that was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
He knew what a villain this fucker was. Like anyone with communications of him with him past 20, I don't know, was it 2013?
Well, 2008 was when he, yeah.
So if you're buds with this guy after 2008, like that alone, that's all I need to know, fuck you. Yeah. Like that's it. Yep. You know, that's it.
I don't remember when Chelsea Clinton got married, but Ghislaine Maxwell was there. And by the way, the Clintons were golfing with Trump, partying with him definitely into 2015, because it was widely reported that the reason that Trump ran was because the Clintons, pushed him to do that. They thought, well, that's the whole Pied Piper thing.
I don't think we pulled this, but I did watch some of that interview. Bannon is like, what do you think? Are you the devil? It's wild.
We've shown a couple clips from that, and I know somebody just released, or a lot of people are releasing the whole 2-hour interview. The documentary was never released. He was making a documentary, which I thought was to rehabilitate his image, but every clip I've seen from him, I think it's called Monster anyway. So I don't understand the strategy there. I don't know what Bannon was playing at, but I think on some level they're just all chaos agents. Like no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But if you look at Bannon and his rise to power, like that documentary was probably him grabbing power, and the fact that it never came out was like, I've got you, Epstein, or something, like, look, Bannon should not have as much power as he has in our government at all. He's a fucking, he's an actual smart guy. Unlike, when people attribute 3D chess to Trump, 3D chess, Bannon is 3D chess, so he's that guy.
Yeah.
He birthed the MAGA movement. So,
yeah, but also with the help of Epstein. Like that's where I don't know. I feel like my head's a little jumbled today, because I've been trying to, every one of these emails that I would read, and then I would go off and research what was happening there. It's like, but wait, why were they working together? He doesn't but I think at a certain point, yeah, maybe it's like it's like Democrats and Republicans. They sort of don't like each other, but they like each other way more than like the rest of us, So
but the one thing he did know is who has power, and he knew Epstein had power. And so if you have a damning documentary on Epstein that you don't put out, how much power does that give you? And then here comes Trump.
Yeah. And so they started making that after Trump was elected. And he helped, like, he strategized with Epstein to try to help get Trump elected. And I understand from Bannon why he would make that documentary. I wonder if Epstein thought it was going to be a more sympathetic documentary and didn't, and like kind of got pulled into it and didn't realize what he was saying. Cause like, obviously from Bannon's point of view, it makes total sense why he would want to have, hi, Lexi, want to have,
of course,
But I'm
Epstein's
trying-
not going to,
yeah.
Epstein's not going to agree to the tone
Monster.
that came out of that.
right.
Yeah, no, he didn't agree to it. He got duped. But Bannon had the dirt on Epstein, I think, which that's why they're like, so we're untouchable. The untouchable tone from MAGA campaign, from Trump himself, comes to this whole thing probably.
Well, and also, I mean, the second time Epstein was arrested, it was under Trump. And when he died by suicide was under Trump. So like, lots of people working together who probably thought they had more solidarity with each other than actually it turned out to be. Thank you, Citizen Vendejo. I knew I'd get home late, ready to make up ground with my punching up. Start drinking, friend. We've gone through a lot. Thank you for your super chat. Justin, Elon must have really thought this was never coming out one way or another, and doubling down makes him look even dumber. I cannot understand why, but they all have lied about it. Like, I just do not understand it. It's crazy. Cheers. Thank you.
But you're right. They underestimated the public's outcry and their ability to contain some of this, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's like both the left and the right are like, they always thought it was mutual assured destruction if any of this came out, and they were all protected. And then they're like, well, Trump's being a fascist. He's in power. We're going to get some of it out. And then we're going to get, so the pressure was on, and some of it leaked, and they're still hiding massive amounts of it. But the tone of the country right now is so upset about this that it's not going to slide. It's going to help bring down both parties. Like this is our moment to do something with it. Doesn't mean they're going to give it to us, but we're going to label that guy's a pedophile. That guy's a pedophile. That person's in charge. And I don't care what our government says anymore. You guys are all evil fucks, and fuck ICE. And you're lying to us about immigration. You're lying to us about Medicare for all. You're lying. So we're going to do something. And that's the value in them covering this shit up.
Yeah. So also, yes, shocked, not surprised. Thank you, Dozen, so much. Thank you. I agree with you. And, the two things that are a little surprising to me is how pathological their greed is. They couldn't just keep us a little bit fat and happy. Like, they still would have had great lives and had more money than they could ever spend if they had allowed us, and people would have forgiven quite a bit, because when people are comfortable, they are willing to look past a lot. So that was an enormous strategic mistake on their part. They are just so cruel and greedy that they just could not even give us a crumb.
Agree completely, because look, you've got even all these you got Jamie Dimon saying, slow it down. We're going to take too many jobs with this AI shit. Like, they know the people whose their whole existence is about fucking exploiting the poor are like, you're going to make it hard for me to exploit the poor at the rate we're at.
I mean, yeah. Yes. They fucked themselves. But here's the other thing. That's so nice. Welcome, Kimmy. But the other thing also is, and this is like the heartbreaking part, is as people are getting more enraged and taking to the streets, that level of anger and action will only continue if, like, the revolution that I want will only happen if the people in power continue their atrocities. And that's a hard thing to reconcile, you know?
And that's what we've been talking about a little bit, is that this is our window, because a lot of our Libby centristy friends, if things do switch over to Democrats, which is like most likely the next stage, things will on the surface be not as dangerous to us in the middle class, and you know, the tone will be better. Everything will feel a little bit better than it was there under the Nazis. So if you want to make real economic change, we have to fight for it in the next 2 years. Like, this is our window, period. If we don't get it in the next 2 years and change the system somehow, get a real systemic change, we're not going to when the Democrats are in power. It's going to be so much harder anyway.
Well, because they're going to say, we won. Look, we got rid of Bavino. Meanwhile, he's in LA.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's horrific. They just shot, you know, a 16-year-old. They're going to say, we got rid of Nome. We're negotiating. Look, we got all of the things that we asked for. No more deportations of U.S. citizens. And they all have body camera. Exactly what the law enforcement groups have been wanting for 20 years.
Yes. And then anything that we are still upset about, which is everything, they're going to say, whoa, that's why the midterms are so important. Just a couple more Democrats and we could go as left as you want. But we can't right now with the climate the way it is, you know, and what the message of like everyone gets health care, that doesn't work in a lot of places. So, you know, if you want that, get some more lefties in place. That's why the midterms, vote. But then they'll fuck themselves and intentionally let the Republicans come in, and they want this even matchup situation, 6-7. I'm sorry, I just can't help but do that. But they want this even playing field where it's always going to be a couple votes, so we can't make broad changes, and they can't even advocate for them.
And look what they do when they had it, and they managed to make 13 Democrats so that in the House they could not vote to defund or to just not fund the DHS. They made 6 of them not even come, and 7 vote with Republicans to fund. So it's not even you just need 2 anymore. You just need 13 good Democrats.
The rotating 13 villains.
You need 13.
And we don't even know their next strategy on how they're going to not pass legislation, but we know that if their consultants are doing anything with their actual intellectual prowess other than convincing Democrats to not support what the public is doing, they're putting their actual brain work into what's our strategy for how to deny anything good to the left next time, because they're on to the rotating villain strategy. You know, they're on to that. So they're going to have a new strategy somehow.
It's not popular in
parliamentarian. We tried that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to, but look what just happened in Texas, right? Like, so that's where the part, like, I have given up on electoral politics. And yet when somebody like Mamdani, for all of his flaws, but when he wins, that says something that like shook the establishment. Then you have this progressive guy in deep red Texas win, trounce the Republican last night. That says something. So then there is a part of me that thinks it's one aspect of it. It's not that I think, oh, we're going to have enough Democrats to come into power to change things. But what those elections do is it does create a bit of fear in the establishment. Like, people are angry. This is what they want, and we can't deny it anymore. And so, I mean, it's like one tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, and I watched CNN earlier, and they were discussing the race where the guy won in Texas, and they interviewed I mean, someone got a clip interviewing Trump about it, and Trump, who endorsed him.
There was an election.
Yeah, what? I don't know anything about it. Well, it sounds like, but they had a Democratic consultant on, pundit, whatever, and they were describing it as like, oh, this is sea change. You know, all Republicans should be scared, considering, you know, he ran very left and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the Democratic Party didn't give him a dollar. Like they were running away from him. They were attacking him. So they're not going to run on this, but they're going to take and you know, grab every bit of cred they can as if it's part of their platform. But it won't be part of any other Democrat's platform.
Listen, what works in deep red Texas is not going to translate to the whole country. They're going to do that kind of thing. Just like, and that was, you know, the reason that we showed that clip on whatever it was, Wednesday or Thursday, of Jon Stewart and Ken, whatever his name is, the chair of the DNC, was, you know, Ken Martin, what's his name? Anyway, whatever, was talking about, you know, economic populism, right? Because that's the one thing that the consultants told them to grasp from Mamdani, economic populism. And Stewart said, so Bernie, like what Bernie's been saying forever. And he was like, Bernie, Shapiro, Newsom, Kamala, it's all the same. And the pushback from Newsom was like, no, you guys always do this and you flatten everything. They're not doing the same thing. He wasn't as hard as he should be, but that is what they're going to do, is they're going to claim all of it, but it doesn't work here. Pete Buttigieg really has to, you know, like fire the black police commissioner.
Well, and like you said, that's why it matters when this guy wins in red Texas. Because it's like, you can't keep, your narrative is so fragile when you're saying you got to run differently in different states. And this guy comes out with no money, no support from the Democratic Party, wins. And so the consultant they had on TV is like, well, he had a lot of dynamics going for him, you know, that are unique. And he was so popular and liked, you know, the weird thing is that people actually liked him.
Oh my God.
That's the weird thing. Like it's a character personality issue.
Of course it is.
Well, yeah, of course, maybe. But, the Democratic plan right now is to run like people who got fired from Doge, who are like CIA spooks.
Right. Or
so
Shapiro,
that's their plan.
who's like a genocider and who like got his friend off the hook from murdering his girlfriend. Like that's their guy. There's libs out there right now. Like, oh, can you imagine that they're pushing against Shapiro? He could have helped win. He has a +60, whatever the hell, in swing state, Pennsylvania. Why didn't we go with him? Because those leftists who are purity testers, meanwhile, they'll all yell and scream that Mamdani is too far left and his economic package and all the billionaires are going to leave. Why aren't they yelling at the billionaires to pick up your big boy pants and do what you're supposed to do to support the Democrat, just the way they always yell at the left? Oh, pick up your big boy pants. You got two options. Vote for, right? They always do that against the left.
Well, yeah. And we all know they're going to go hard on Newsom. I think Kamala's dead in the water. She's going to run, but who cares? It'll be Newsom, I think, at this point. Right. But, you know, just think about that he's the guy who just now, like as a Californian, most Californian, at least leftists, understand what's going on with Newsom.
Right.
But he said he would reject a 1% tax on billionaires in the state. So you can't pretend to be a progressive nationally and not like that alone. That's untenable to most progressives. Like you weren't willing to tax billionaires 1%. Well, we all pay 25 to 35% in our taxes, not 1%. That's too much. You think we should tax billionaires, but just not 1%. That's too much.
Talk to Eisenhower, that radical lefty Eisenhower, who is taxing wealthy people at 90%. That's how we have him. Like that's the thing. And, you know, even though Rutger Bregman has had some questionable new organizations, but you know, when he went to Davos and said, you all are flying in here on your billionaire jets and talking about how do we make the world better, but it's simple. Like it's just so simple. You tax wealthy people. There should be well, actually now he says there should be wealthy people. He's kind of doing that, like what is it? Like the altruism, the thing that Sam Altman was in, and like, you know, effective altruism.
Abundance.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to make money. Don't feel bad. Go make as much as you can, and then just do some charity. He's kind of doing that. But the truth is, there should never be a billionaire. Of course there shouldn't. Nobody earns $1 billion. So when there are billionaires, those are policy failures across the board. And then those same people are constructing the politics that create more billionaires and more poverty. And then they criminalize the poor and put them in slave camps. Like, that is where we are headed. There should not be a billionaire. And so anybody who says, and by the way, Ro Khanna, we need just the one-time tax. And then the pushback, or not pushback, but the person said, well, do you think billionaires should exist? And he was like, yeah, of course. I don't begrudge anybody earning $1 billion. Nobody earns $1 billion. Like, ever. You cannot earn $1 billion. You do it by exploiting workers and by destroying the environment. That's it.
Yeah. Well, as much as Ro Khanna is good on issues occasionally, and I will give him credit where he is, he's the richest fucker in Congress. The guy's gotten more stock tips than anyone. So he just keeps getting richer and richer off of stock tips and his wife's investments and shit. So I don't give a fuck what Ro has to say. I appreciate that he's coming out and putting a little message out to centristy people that we're going to be more left here in the future. But if he's not grifting, I don't know, man. The guy, he's going to be a billionaire soon. That's why he's not anti-billionaire. Like, none of his policies he wants to put in place are happening. He's the first person who undercut Bernie's message on Medicare for all as his fucking spokesperson. He was on TV and said, well, we could go with Kamala's plan or not Kamala's plan. We can go with Tulsi's plan or Elizabeth Warren's plan. We don't really care. While his base and their message at the time was Medicare for all or fucking bust.
Yeah.
He went on TV and said that, undermining everybody. So he's a fucking phony. If he's not a phony, he's like half real, but half his own self-interest and his fucking money.
I mean, yeah, we got to take that money out of politics, because we have to take it out of everything. We have to make it so that institutions don't have double priorities or a singular priority. I mean, it's so interesting when people say, like, well, companies, they have a legal obligation to make money for their shareholders, as if they have no other legal obligations, right? So you just have to take that whole incentive out of politics, out of medicine, out of science. Like, go do your fucking bully, I need all the money in the world shit in your own sandbox. But like, there is a public good that we should all be concerned about. And until that takes a priority, until we get money out of all of this, it's all going to just be revolution and anger and fear and more militarized cops. I mean, that's really, like, that is where we are.
It is. And that's the reality, is that, look, we need to get money out of politics, but we're not going to do it. It's not happening. Right. So it's not happening unless we fucking force it out with the baseball bat somehow. Right. So we can do economic things that are the baseball bat, but we can also do the baseball bat. And it's a combination of those two things that will force them to change something that might get us voting that actually represents us. But we're not going to just vote our way to getting voting that represents us.
They will never allow us to vote them out of power. That's not the way it works. Like, that is not the way it works.
They're not going to let us vote into them making less money while they're in power either, is the thing. And if you don't change that piece of it, then the money controls their decisions forever. So
100%. And yeah, I mean, I think Butch Ware has a fantastic platform. I saw Nina Turner just came out and endorsed him, which is awesome. I want to see more about him. I don't know why, and I know it shouldn't matter, because now it feels like the things that they used to say about Bernie was just like, oh, the body language stuff. Some of his videos have made me feel a little uncomfortable, but whatever. I'm going to put that. But like, I think that's why I'm like just a little I haven't been full throated in my endorsement about him.
Sure.
And yes, there will be no billionaires, of course, in a moral society. And unfortunately, I think that's true. I mean, that's, Chris Hedges says that all the time. Politics is a game of fear. And if they're not afraid of you, you're not getting anything. And they're afraid of the billionaires. They're afraid of Wall Street. They're afraid of the Bill Ackmans. That's why they acquiesce to everything, right? Okay. We have a few super chats to get through, and then we'll, is there something else you want to address before we go? I mean, we have so much stuff, but yeah.
I could get on a podium and speak for hours, but no, let's just move on.
We'll add a fourth show of a week. Yes, Jezen, Anthony Aguilar, Butch Ware, Greg Stoker, all of them. Yes, thank you. Cheers. Huge fans for sure. Thank you for the gifting the memberships. Cheers and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to Reflect the Sun, 10 Punch Up Pod memberships. Love our members. Thanks, you guys. Citizen Mendejo, thank you. A couple more veterans, Stoker, Tony, Randy Fine is gone. Aaron Baker is going to bounce him. We got to keep the faith. Let's hope. Keep the faith. Thank you for the super chat.
Amen. And I'm for look,
yeah.
I don't think when we say we can't vote our way to this, to change, it doesn't mean don't support the best people you can get in some of these spots, especially when they're not part of the left or the right. They're not blue or red. Like, if I don't know what's going on, I'm going to vote for the green guy and then I'll figure it out later.
100%.
But that doesn't mean we put any, like,
it's not enough. If that's the only civic engagement, right?
Yeah. If you are 10% less civically engaged because you voted for a Green Party person, you're fucking up, because it's like, that's the lottery ticket, is we get some of these guys in there.
Right.
And eventually we're going to want to take over the system, but like, we don't have any power to take over the system just by voting people into the system, because that's such a long slog. It's not likely to do much.
Yeah.
So stay active outside.
And one of the reasons, I mean, it's horrific what's happening in Minneapolis and all over the country, but one of the reasons the communities have been so vigilant, so organized, whistles, the maps, the alerting each other, showing up to schools to help walk people in, to protect community members, is because there was already a structure of organizing in place because of what they did under, walls, when they had that one seat majority and fought for some really good measures. But that was that was in place. So like that organizing is really vital. It's really powerful.
Amen. And it does pivot. It goes beyond just ICE and immigration. That network can stay intact for other issues.
Absolutely.
When people in the network realize, they're lying about ICE, they're also lying about the economy, they're lying about COVID, they're lying about all this stuff. Like,
yeah. So it is inspiring. I agree. Steve, we will absolutely. I have a list of people I need to reach out to again to get them on. Thank you for your super chat. We would love to have Butch Ware on.
We had Jill Stein once upon a time.
Yeah.
So,
I think
we have some potential to reach some of these powerful leftists.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before we go?
Nope. I'm done ranting.
All right. I will say I also did see a video of people in LA barricading ICE agents inside a building, which is excellent.
You know what? I turned the TV on right as that guy was doing the karate kick on CNN into the door. And I was like, what am I missing? But it didn't get much better from there.
Yeah.
But that was they were reporting on it like it was like we were getting attacked by Russia or something.
Yeah.
They're like, it's all going down. It's everything. But the karate kick guy, good
and
good
the skateboarder and everything, like dancing through it.
It was a perfect moment to turn the TV on.
It was excellent.
I wish it could be like that every day on TV, because that shows that we're going to get somewhere.
Cry bullies scared for their lives, like truly. All right, everybody. Cheers. We adore you guys. Thank you for all of your great comments and your super chats and your support. This is, we really are so grateful to all of you. And this community has given me so much peace. So thank you and love and support. You guys are awesome. We will see you on Wednesday. Keep punching up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to push the button. Here we go.
I am not.
I forgot I was supposed to do that.
That's your job.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. Think it's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. Think it's time to stop. Yeah, watch that sound. Everybody look what's going down. A field day for heat. 1,000 people in the street, yeah, singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. Think it's time to stop. Yeah, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. You see in the words. Paranoia strikes deep into your life.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
Stay safe, y'all. Look after each other. Care about each other. Yeah.